Hello, we're going to get started by sitting down and you can see, I hope you can see me okay from there. Just settle into the present moment. So perhaps allow yourself a moment just to check in with what it was that you were feeling or thinking before you came to the mat. The sort of heaviest feelings that you were carrying with you, the sensations and thoughts. And then with each inhalation, I'd like you to take a moment to mentally undress from those layers of thought and feelings. So allow yourself to peel back and remind yourselves that you're here and now. So anything that you had with you before, you can simply kind of take off and leave behind. And also, likewise, if you've got something coming up just after the session, allow yourself to almost take a seat back. So perhaps let your sit bones heavy a little bit and lean back a little bit so your shoulders come a bit further back over your hips. And just kind of get the sense that you're leaning away from the temptation to always go forwards. So lean back and almost sense the feeling of the future, something that you can watch from here and now. And with the focus on the breath, just see with when you exhale, you can relax the shoulders down the spine. And perhaps your knees can soften. So your hips might be holding tightly onto your knees. See if you can soften through those two. Lovely. Let's start with 3 inhalations out to the side. So inhale, draw the arms up, look up towards the palms and exhale to the center. Think about one thing that you would like to focus on during your practice. So think about that one thing as you lower your lids and bring the fingertips to the chin. So it could be to relax, it could be to distress, it could be to build focus, stamina, flexibility. Inhale, reach up and exhale. Bring that intention to the breath. Again, bring yourself to a point where you can consider what your attention might be, and it might be the first thing you think of. Maybe it takes you a while to intuit the best intention for your practice. One more time, inhale, draw up. And exhale, release down the center line. And this time really cement on that concept in your mind. Draw the sense of determination, light into the body, into the frame. Again, the ears drop away from the neck. And then just gently draw the fingertips apart and lightly place them on top of the shoulders. Draw the elbows together in front of you. Reach them up and then span them out. So you get opening through the pecs and the shoulder joints are mobilizing. Inhale to draw up and then exhale, tuck the chin, look down, bring the elbows together. So we do this 5 times, twice more. Wonderful. Okay, so then draw the shoulders up and then roll them back. So think about squeezing an orange between the shoulder blades. Come onto the fingertips behind you and just lean back with strong, straight arms so you get that lift through the chest. Tuck the chin to elongate the back of the neck. And then draw small, sort of saucer-sized circles with the nose. One direction, 3 times. And then reverse. So you'll keep lifting through the chest. And getting a nice, subtle range of motion growing through the neck. One last inhalation now. I'd like you to slightly soften your neck and begin to draw upwards with the nose. So you could draw a little line on the ceiling. And just test how it feels to allow your head to roll backwards and you open through the neck. So take the breath into the neck now and see if you can soften and open through the larynx. It can be nice to imagine a turquoise color filling the neck area when you inhale. This is the point of self-expression, where what you say represents what's on your mind, and it's something we have to give a lot of thought to. So really soften this area and pay it the respect it deserves. And to come out, you just start to gently draw the gaze forwards. And I'd like you to bring your palms, just lift them up, maybe a couple of circles to wriggle out from that little pressure you're placing on the shoulder. Bring your palms together in prayer pose. Open up your elbows and then tuck the base of your palms at the base of your neck. So you'll feel that that creates a little bit of an extra space at the base of the neck. So you're really lengthening the back of the spine. Inhale and draw up out of the pelvis and feel the sides of the body is lengthened. Draw the elbows away from each other and lift the chest. Have a slight extension in the spine. So think cobra. And then as you exhale, let the chin roll forwards. The gaze comes to the navel and you can really round through the back. So that you can think about cat here, you know, that angry cat pose. And just stay here for a few breaths. Not too much weight through the palms, just enough to keep that sense of openness in the back of the neck. One more breath in. Make it matter. It's really important that you connect with your breath. See if you can bring the breath into the belly. Then we're going to inhale. So engage the navel and draw up from the navel. Unravel the chest. Lift up, look up, and then spread the arms out to the side. And just take a few little turns with the arms. Bend through the elbows. Soften through the torso as you twist gently through the body. Perhaps even let the hands, the arms gently tap the sides of the body. So bringing a little bit of awareness through the tapping into your body. Lovely. And then place the palms down and come to your tabletop. And we'll just wriggle through here and feel where's static, where's been a little bit neglected perhaps in your regular posture, your regular routine. How's your waist doing, your hips? And then let's get into a couple of cat-cows. So inhale, let the belly drop, draw the chest forwards, look up towards where the ceiling will meet. And at the top of that inhalation, have a rest, a pause, before you start to oscillate through the spine. So exhale, start to roll from the tailbone, let the gaze come through the legs. Make sure your legs are parallel with each other, hip width apart, and round through the back. Inhale, draw the chest through the arms, look forwards, look up. Let the belly relax and extend the front seam of the body. And exhale, roll again. Make that angry cat shape. And you may want to wriggle a little left and right here to see what the difference is with the spine rounded. And then place the toes together and come down. Let the knees spread wide. So you're in an active child's pose. So just feel this lovely stretch and release through the shoulders. If you keep your gaze lifted, you're sending a signal that you are active right now. So this isn't for a rest necessarily. I'd like you to have a look at your fingertips. Spread them wide. Index finger points forward. Press into the ground with the palms of the hands and feel the lift underneath the armpit. Bring the breath into the belly. So focus on the belly, draw your attention there. Feel the rise and the fall of the rib cage. Great. So now we're going to go into that hopefully by now quite familiar, thread the needle to release through the shoulders slightly. Draw the right palm into the center and inhale, extend the left arm up. You can even come up onto your knees a little bit here, and then you can place a little bit more weight into the right palm, the right forearm on the floor, and just let your whole chest blossom open to the left hand side. The nose follows up towards the thumb, and you can then let the palm come underneath the right arm, facing upwards. Lay that arm on the floor, and the left ear follows, comes down onto the mat. So you can then place your right palm on top of your left palm, or if you want a little bit more, you can inhale and draw the right arm up into the air. Again, just use your intuition here to test how far forward you want to be on your knees, or if you can draw your hips back slightly. Reverse with your palm so it points upwards, bend to the elbows, take hold of your left thigh with your right palm. And then sink into this posture. So all those ligaments that get tense around the neck and the shoulder here are getting a gentle massage, a gentle stretch. Breathe into those areas too. We'll come out of there, so inhale, draw the right arm up and lengthen it forwards. Then unravel your right arm from underneath and just come into a symmetrical posture. So that extended child's pose one more time, lengthen through the spine. And then we're going to place the left palm in the center. Span the fingers, inhale the right arm up. And again, you can lift quite forward on your knees if you like. That will give you a little bit more length in the waist and the back. Exhale, reverse the spine, the palm so it's pointing upwards towards the ceiling. And then you can release your left arm and bring that in. Take a hold of your right thigh from around the back there. So to maintain neck and shoulder health is really important, particularly if you spend many hours in the same posture. But everybody carries tension here. This is a daily thing perhaps. So maybe one or two of your favorite postures from this class you can just weave into a little daily routine. You can set a reminder on your phone and see after a week if you feel a difference. After many years of carrying tension in our necks and shoulders, we can get quite numb to it and we don't realize that we even carry it there anymore. Inhale and extend the left arm up, bring it forward so that you can push up and unravel yourselves from your threaded needle. So we're now going to come down onto our stomachs. Legs are a little bit further apart, so maybe mat width apart. So you come into Sphinx. So your elbows are just bent underneath your shoulders and let the rib cage drape. So what you're feeling now is an openness in the chest. If you lift your gaze, then you're also getting openness in the neck. What I'd really like you to tune into here is your lumbar spine. So the extension in the lumbar spine is similar to that which we have in Cobra, an upward facing dog. Relax your glutes. So press your pelvis into the ground and just wobble your glutes left to right a little bit. See how that feels. And then see if that helps take any tension out of your lumbar spine. Tuck your toes. Draw the palms in towards underneath the shoulders. So just pointing out underneath the shoulders. And draw yourselves back again, hips towards heels. Then inhale, tuck the belly in, lift the knees up off the mat and come into our first downward facing dog. So it's always a little bit of a wake up call to the backs of the legs the first time you extend into this. pedal through and go gently. So really mindfully pop your weight into the balls of the feet to begin with. Perhaps turn the toes towards each other. See how that changes things. Rotate the thighs outwards. How does that feel? Where's sensitive? Where can you press through? Where feels good to wake up? Cracking open some of the fascia there that might have got a little bit stiff, depleted, tenderized somehow. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Let the ears be in line with the upper arms. Tuck in the lower rib cage and draw the navel into the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, gaze to the palms and walk really mindfully with your navel engaged to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Relax your neck. Maybe even take your palms into prayer and place your base of the palms at the base of the neck and just see how that releases your head one more time. Release the palms, then through the knees. Inhale, draw the arms up out to the side and exhale, Tadasana. Interlace the fingers behind the back and extend the arms nice and strong and straight behind you. So you feel your shoulders drawing together behind the back, the chest lifts. Draw the navel in and up. Keep the legs active and drawing together. And exhale, fold forwards. And let the fists come as if they're going to touch the floor in front of your head. So every time you inhale, see if you can just lengthen the front body, draw the navel in a little more, lengthen through the waist. Maybe you can wriggle with the shoulder girdle a little bit left and right, and then exhale, fold forward. So if you have sensitive hamstrings, let the chest come to the thighs and relax with a little bent knee there. Inhale softly, exhale softly. Just notice if the jaw is tight, if the brow is knotted. See if you can add a little bit of softness to your features. You're getting nice little blood coming now into the head. Hopefully a little bit more range of motion in the shoulders. Drop the palms and place them underneath your shoulders. Bend the legs and step back into your plank. Now we're going to lower down from plank and come into cobra. Zip the legs together, draw the elbows into the waist. Inhale, do not press up through your palms, hover your palms. Press your toes down into the mat. Engage your kneecaps so they lift off the floor. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lower down. Keep the palms lifted, relax the glutes. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, draw up. Lovely. Tuck the toes. Send the hips back to the heels. And then roll up into downward facing dog. Walk the dog. Inhale and exhale. Stick your tongue out. Nice big lion's breath. That feels good. Inhale. Let's do that again. Exhale. Stick the tongue out. Lion's breath. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Shake out that stale air. Take the gaze to the top of the mat. Bend the knees. You can walk or hop now to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up, draw up. Exhale, release, sun salutation A. Inhale, look up, draw up, out of the waist. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins as an option, or to the ground if you prefer. Tuck the navel, bend the knees, hop or step back into plank. Lower down, inhale. Now upward facing dog or cobra, that's your option there. Make sure the head to the shoulders roll back in upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Feel the back of the body open up, stretch and lengthen. Inhale. Gaze can be down to the mat, between the legs. Exhale, one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Take the gaze to the fingertips, bend through the knees. Hop or step to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, lift the gaze, then exhale, tuck the gaze to the navel, fold forward. Sensitive hamstrings, bend the knees. Inhale, draw up, look up. Exhale, Tadasana. Let's do a variation of Sun Salutation B. Inhale, draw the navel in, lengthen the lumbar spine by tucking the tailbone down. Exhale, sit down in that imaginary chair, draw the arms forward. Inhale, scoop the belly, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, bend the knees and hop or step back into your plank. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right foot, move it towards the right side of the mat, toes pointing forwards in the right leg, 90-degree bend. Left out leg is placed to the left side of the mat, outer edge points down. Inhale, draw the arms up. And then exhale, walk the right foot over to the center of the mat and come into Warrior Two. Inhale, flip the front palm and draw it back into your peaceful warrior, reverse warrior. You feel it open up in the side seam there, the right seam. Exhale, draw forwards. And then inhale, take the palms behind the spine into reverse prayer. And 3 breaths here. Let the breath settle. Feel the lift in the chest. Press down the outer edge of the back foot. 1 more breath. Before we cartwheel the palms down to the ground, turn the back toes to face the front and step the right leg to meet the left. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and then we repeat that little vinyasa series on the opposite side. So the left leg goes to the left side of the mat, 90-degree bend. Hips are parallel to the front of the mat, so draw the right hip forwards. Outer edge of the right foot pushes into the mat. Inhale, draw the arms up. And then exhale, take your left foot more to the center of the mat, so it lines up with the instep of the right leg, the right foot. And you come into Warrior Two. Inhale, flip the left palm, come into Peaceful Warrior, Reverse Warrior. Exhale, back to Warrior Two, and then inhale, palms together behind the back. That's available. If it's not, take opposite elbow. 3 breaths. At the base of your third exhalation, just have a little pause. Take your gaze to the front of the mat. Release the palms either side of the front foot. Rotate the back toe to point towards the front of the mat. Left leg steps back, and then we chaturanga down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Steady and smooth out the breath, and see how this downward facing dog feels to you now. Where do you feel heat and ease? At the base of your next exhalation, take the gaze to the front of the mat, bend the knees, keep the hips nice and high, and hop to the front of the mat, or step if you prefer. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forwards. Sit down in your chair. Inhale, draw the arms to the front. Scoop out the belly, and then exhale, push through the feet, and come back up to standing. Lovely. So we're going to come now into a short standing sequence. You step back with your left leg so that your right leg is at the top of the mat. So for the purposes of demonstrating, I'm just going to switch over so it looks like you can mirror me more easily. So we're going to come into triangle pose. Similar base to warrior two. The front ankle, the front heel is in line with the back instep. Make sure the outer edge of the back foot is heavying into the mat. Inhale, just draw the arms up. Imagine that you're being pulled front and back so that your waist becomes a little bit more unstuck and more flexible. So you move your upper body separately from your lower body. Then you lower down into triangle. So remember, where you take triangle is up to you, ankle, thigh, or yogi toe grip. All you need to be sure of is that front leg and the back leg are straight. Just ensure that your hip, your left hip is turning outwards and upwards, stacking above your right hip. And then you draw your left arm up to the ceiling, fingertips really active. And your nose follows. See if you can draw your hand above your nose. Roll your left shoulder away from your ears, away from your chest. And draw up with the right waist. Good. Take the gaze down and let your front leg come to a 90-degree bend. Place your right hand to the outside edge of your right foot. And then inhale, draw your left arm up and over. So take your gaze from your armpits to your fingertips. Keep the outer edge of the back leg really heavy in the mat. Inhale and exhale. Hopefully you're enjoying the length in the side body here. This should ease the muscles in the upper sides of the back. On your next inhalation, just draw that left hand back and forget about it for a minute. So place it on the left hip. As you step your left leg in a little bit, and we're going to come into that half moon posture. So the back leg just floats up. Keep straight if you can in the front leg, if that's available to you, the hamstrings agree. And make sure that you're spreading the weight evenly in the foot. So the big toe, the little toe. And both corners of the heel are taking an even amount of the pressure. Release any grip in the toes by taking the toes up off the mat just for a moment. Lay them back down. And once you've had a little investigation and you're satisfied there, you can think about floating the left palm up and taking the gaze up to the palm, if you will. You fall out, you can come back in. And then gently just let that back leg come down to the mat and walk yourselves over to the long side of the mat. So you're coming into a wide leg forward fold. And then just walk your palms forwards a little bit. So you rock a little bit onto the toes. In fact, walk completely onto your toe, the balls of the toes. And then walk back and just feel what it's like to spread the weight into the heels again. Place the right palm in the center and inhale the left arm up. Exhale. Place the left palm in the center and inhale the right palm up. Take the gaze up if that's nice for your neck, if not, look down. Exhale there, back to center. And then we're going to build into triangle on the left-hand side. So make sure the heel is in line with the instep of the back foot. Outer edge of the back foot presses into the mat. And then draw the right hand up. Find your breath. Bend into the front knee, 90 degrees. Make sure that knee is over the above the ankle, not over it. If your right knee goes beyond the ankle, increase the length of your stance. Line up your left palm on the outer edge of the left leg and let the arms support the knees to stop it from flaring outwards. Then inhale the right palm up over the ear. Take the gaze from the armpit to the fingertips. Keep pressing down the outer edge of the back leg. Sway and enjoy. Exhale. And then I'm just going to draw myself a little further away from my table. You may need to do the same in your environment as you just float up your back leg. Flex the toes, draw them towards you to activate the glutes of the flying leg. And if you want to, once you've checked in with your standing leg, float your right arm up off the floor. Please do so now. And you can follow with the gaze. Lovely. We're going to place both palms down at the front of the mat now and step the legs together. And just walk ourselves down so that we can extend the legs on the mat in front of us. And we'll just come to Dandasana very quickly. Quite a neutral posture. Don't slam the backs of your knees into the mat, but do think about just pressing down gently so that you can increase the amount of contact you've got with the backs of your legs on the floor. Keep the toes drawn towards you. And then the palms come down by the side of the hips. Tuck the chin and feel length in the spine. Very nice and neutral posture to come to after those quite complicated standing asana. Now I'd like you to walk your fingertips behind your hips so that they're still pointing towards your toes, but you're about a hand's length away from your hips. We're going to come into reverse plank. So it's quite strong. And if you prefer, you can simply bend up your knees and draw your shoulder blades together behind your back and lift your gaze. Otherwise, come with me. So bend through the elbows, then inhale, press through the arms and float the hips up. Keep the legs drawing together and see if you can draw your toes down towards the mat. Lift the gaze so it's forward first, and then gently just draw a line with the nose upwards and open through the throat. And see if you can bring your focus to the throat breath again. Relax there. Don't let the head completely drop back. You want to have a nice long straight line between the crown of the head and the lumbar spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Release down. Quickly inhale, release the arms up, and exhale. Come into a round back forward fold. Nice counter posture for that really open asana there. Relax and calm the breath. Lovely. Inhale and draw back up to seating upright. Then bend at the knees, and again, place your palms behind you. Fingertips pointing towards the heels. Bend through the elbows and then lift up. Just make sure that your forearms aren't in the way as you draw your shoulder blades together and lift your chest. So once again, we're going to open through the front seams of the body. It can feel quite exposing and vulnerable to do this. So kind of embrace that sense of lift and release. And think about what you're gaining from this, which is a lot of openness in the front body, releasing through the pecs and the shoulders, and eventually the neck. So engage the navel. And we're going to lift up into tabletop. So you can have a cup of tea placed on the navel. And then once again, take the gaze up. Don't collapse the neck back. Keep the neck active. And then bring your focus to softening through the neck again, softening through the throat. Really quite strong in the arms. Keep the legs parallel. Draw forwards with the thighs. Engage the glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release down. Draw the knees into the chest and just allow yourself to have a little hug. Come back to your breath. Then we're going to come around into plank. Exhale down. Inhale, upward facing dog. A little vinyasa just to refresh ourselves. And come back into downward facing dog. Come back to your Dandasana position. So extend your legs out to the front. If you just remind yourselves of Janu Shirshasana, so you're going to extend your left leg out to begin with. Usually we have the leg directly out to the front, and then the right knee bends in towards the thigh. This time what I'd like you to do is extend your left leg out to the side, because we're going to come into a revolved Janu Shirshasana, and that's really nice for releasing through the neck. So the toes are active and they draw towards you, and that will help you get that sense of releasing the back of the leg down into the mat. Reach towards your toes. So if you're going to take a grip over your toes, you could perhaps take yogi toe grip, or perhaps the fingers go over the top of the toes down towards the heel. If that's not available to you, then this is fine. This is fine. Even this is fine. Find what's right for you, and you'll probably find you'll get a bit more extension as you come into the full posture. So I'm going to start off with the palm against my shin. Inhale and draw the right arm up over towards the side of the space. And then exhale, release down. When you inhale, lift up out of the waist, particularly the left waist. See if you can smooth out the creases in your t-shirt before you exhale and come a little lower. So eventually you might be able to allow the right hand to come down to meet the left. And if you can, make sure that you're just finding something that's comfortable for your neck. So you may prefer to look down here. Or if you're feeling a little bit more active and challenging yourselves, you can take the gaze underneath the right armpit and look up to the ceiling. Find your breath. Find the ease and find the challenge. And then in between the inhalations and the exhalations, acknowledge this wonderful position that you have taken between being easeful and challenged. This is being slightly out of the comfort zone is the best way to learn. And this is something we can take off the mat. Shall we come out? Let's come out mindfully. Inhale, draw the right arm up, make an arc with it like a rainbow. Let the gaze follow that right arm. And then let's perhaps just take a little counter stretch. And inhale and draw the left arm up and open. So you open up through the left waist. And again, you decide where your gaze is going to be. If it's down to the ground, if it's up to the armpit, if it's up to the fingertips. And then come upright. And draw the legs symmetrical and the feet together. We're going to grace through Baddha Konasana before we practice that from the other side. So a little bit of rocking and rolling through the pelvis here will encourage your sit bones to release into the mat, maybe a little front and back as well. Take a grasp of the balls of the feet and rotate the ankles, which will hopefully let your legs relax a little bit more into the openness of this posture. And I'm just tuning in with my neck here. I find it quite an interesting place to do so. With the openness in my hips, I start to think, oh, perhaps my neck is tenser than I thought. It's not a bad thing to discover that, but it's a good thing to work with it. So perhaps a couple of little head rolls here before we inhale and extend the spine on its axis. So nice and long in the spine. Tuck the chin slightly. And hold this for a few breaths. Draw the navel in and out, the shoulder blades together behind the back. Really nice. Lovely, lovely. Let's repeat that. Revolve Janu Sirsasana. So now the left sole of the foot comes to the inside of the right leg, which extends out to the side. Again, just place the palm perhaps on the shin or on the thigh. You're going to go a bit further as you extend over to the side, so make sure you've got some space for that extension that's to come. And then inhale, make that nice arc with the left palm as you draw up and over to the side. Find your breath. Just check in that your left sitting bone is still heavying into the mat. Because it could be that you've taken a bit of tension there in the hips. So try and release that tension and let your seat bones be, if not exactly equally, placed through the earth, somewhere towards equal. So actually for me, it's nicer in my neck on this side to look down towards my knee, perhaps placing the forehead on the knee. That's a bit nicer this side. Interesting, isn't it? The differences in the size of our bodies. Makes it a bit of a different posture when you look down and when you look up. So try both. Oh, when you're ready, inhale and draw that left arm up and open into its arc. Let the left palm come down and let the right arm then stand open. So you come into a little counter posture on the opposite side. Inhale, draw up, and then come back into a plank. So place the palms beneath the shoulders. But we're not staying there long. Perhaps just move a little bit forwards and backs with the toes on the ball of the foot, just to activate through that mound there. And then you're going to draw the right leg up and take yourself into pigeon pose. So the right knee comes to the outer edge of the right wrist. Extend the left leg behind you. Just if you lift up onto your right side and see if you can release your right, the right lower leg. See if you can work that forwards a little bit so the heel is not coming in the way of your hips. And then wriggle a little bit more so that there's even weight left and right through the hips. Come up onto the tripod of the fingertips. Lift the chest, draw the belly up nice and long in the front body, and then gradually drape. So think about your belly, first of all, coming down and then your lower ribs. Take it easy, think about what's good for you. If this is good for you, if you just want to rest your head in your palms. If you're getting it in the hips, that's where we're looking for. If you want to make a pillow with the palms, you can let your forehead have a rest on the mat. Keep your right toes pointed just to protect your knee. And if you're up for something more here, you can come into a very similar thing that we did with the thread the needle, where you lift the right arm up, you extend it underneath the left, you turn towards the left, the right palm faces up, you lift the left palm up, rotate it to face the ceiling. You take hold of your right thigh. So that's an extra release opportunity in the shoulder and the neck. And actually, for me, it increases the release in the hips as well and the hamstrings. So see how that is for you, if you're up for it. If you're in the twisted pigeon, just unravel the arms, and then wherever you are, just walk back up. Lift the chest, roll over to your right hand side, and bring the left leg forwards. Just draw the knees into the chest, have a little hug, equalize through the hips, perhaps windscreen wipe your legs left and right a little bit. Before we then leave the left leg at the top of the mat, extend the right leg backwards. So you need to make sure that when you place your palms back down, that your left wrist is inside your left knee. See about adjusting your posture so that you are taking the heel away from your hips of the left leg. Keep the left toes pointed. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Draw the shoulders towards each other behind the back. And then exhale, lower down. And again, if you want to twist, you can inhale and draw the left arm up and under. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Rotate the palm to face upwards when you bend at the elbow and take a hold of your left thigh. Relax your fingertips. Relax your back foot. Relax your jaw and your tongue. Two more breaths here. Then inhale and release your right palm so that you can lift up if you're in the twist and unravel the arms. Extend the legs forwards in front of you. Wriggle your hips up and down so you can place your palms underneath your glutes. Bend the elbows up and see if you can just lift your chest and look up. You point your toes. And if you want to, you can start to release your head down, look behind you to come into full fish pose. So this is the last posture in which we'll be opening up through the chest like this and the throat. How different does it feel to the first that you practice? Are you comfortable here? Where is the challenge? And then lift the head up so that you're not taking any weight into the neck. Tuck the chin and release the palms from underneath the glutes. If you're ready for your Shavasana, then please do come into that now. If you would like to take an inversion with me, this is one last stretch through the neck and the shoulders. In shoulder stand, we'll come out through plow, and then we will head into a Shavasana. So if you're heading into Shavasana straight away, remember, maybe put on an extra layer just to keep some of the heat of your practice in. Lower your lids and take your focus inwards and drop away from external stimuli. If you're coming into shoulder stand, bring the knees up to the chest and lay the palms down by the side. Inhale and see if you can push through the palms to lift the hips. Then work your elbows slightly closer together behind your back. Place the fingers either side of the spine. And engage the navel. Draw the seams of the legs together. Perhaps take a moment just to activate through your toes. Maybe span them wide, draw them towards you. Ooh, and point them away. So it's really important in shoulder stand that your focus, your gaze is to your toes. Looking left and right in shoulder stand is puts your neck in a vulnerable position. However, the positives of shoulder stand I've already mentioned, and I stretch through your shoulders and your neck. Make sure that to optimize that the weight is mostly in the shoulder girdle. Keep the chin tucked. Another advantage is that you have an intense flow of blood towards the chest, which then triggers a reaction that helps to lower blood pressure and also your pulse. So your glutes are engaged. Keep that sense of drawing up. If you're ready to come down, do so mindfully. So keep your palms where they are and the legs together. Keep the abdomen engaged. And draw your legs straight towards your base. And then let the feet touch the ground behind you. If you want a little bit more, you can release the palms and walk the shoulder blades slightly closer together and extend the palms, fingers interlaced, along the mat behind you. Now the nice stretch through the shoulders and the neck. Gaze is forward. And then to come out of plow, palms are, first of all, back against the lower back. Then you bring the knees in, engage the abdomen, release the lower back, place the palms down by the side. They act as brakes as you gently roll down onto the mat. Maybe leave your knees bent and the soles of the feet on the ground as you let windscreen wipe your legs left and right. And maybe you look in the opposite direction to the way in which your knees fall so that you get one last little roll through the neck. Do so gently as we ease into Shavasana. So you can either practice your regular Shavasana with the legs extended, the arms out to the side, or if you're interested in the Supta Baddha Konasana, draw the soles of the feet together. You can place the palms underneath the glutes for a little extra release if you like. Or if your hips are feeling quite open and relaxed, you don't need your palms underneath your glutes. You could then place them either on top of the thighs to heavy the thighs down, or you could place the palms on the navel, maybe one palm on the navel, your left palm on the navel, your right on the chest. Or you can just have your palms out to the side. So find something that feels right for you, nice for you, and comfortable for you, because really the challenge in these asana is not so much about stability because we're so well supported by the floor, but it's now about the discipline of allowing the mind to calm down and have a rest and taming that wild horse. So let the breath be the first thing that you are aware of taming here. Come into a sense where you feel as if you are watching over it. You don't need to change anything about the breath now, but observe it. Not just the mechanics, but how it feels as you fill with air and release the air. Now, before we go any further, just make sure that your jaw is relaxed. If you're not sure, you can take your palms to your jaw and simply just draw some little circles from the joint of your jaw, which is just underneath the ear. You can draw those little circles along the gums from the outside, from the skin side. Just relax them out. Top and bottom. And then you can just do the same with the brows. So little circles from the center outward. to the temples. All right, then perhaps just a little stroke down the body, and your arms can rest where you like. Now take the focus inwards. If your lids are lowered, you can soften the gaze, be them there. If there are noises from outside, simply just acknowledge them without getting involved. See if you can find a place where you feel like there's a little light or a fire or a flame. And how does that flame flicker and move with your breath? How does it grow? How does it spread? And you may get glimpses during this activity of how it becomes obscured. I'd like you to have the sense that that flame is lit and it's always there. There are simply many, many layers that get dumped on top of it, that dampen its glow. So right now I'd like you to consider how to use your focus to intensify the shine and the brightness of that flame or light. As it lights up the internal organs, as it's carried through the veins of the blood, as it's moved around you with the breath. And feel this light fill you from the inside, reinforces you. It reinforces your being. Bring someone to mind who you think can do with a little bit of light in their lives. That can be someone that you really care for, who's been really kind, or equally somebody who you feel is going through some challenging moments and they're expressing that to you in a way that feels negative. So both people, all people deserve to receive some of this kindness and light. So bring somebody to mind and extend this kindness, this light and shine to them too. Through this way we connect, and this yoga becomes bigger than ourselves, bigger than our intentions for ourselves. We become connected to the possibility that we can bring about change in our lives. Positive change. If you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, it can be quite nice to help the thighs lift. So you can take your palms to the outer edges of your thighs and draw your knees together. If you're in Shavasana, inhale and lengthen the body along the mat. And then exhale, everyone draw the knees into the chest, perhaps to the armpits even. Little left and right sway before you come over to one side. And have a rest on your side before you come up into seated. As you come up, be aware that you've just put a lot of focus into relaxing the neck. So do support your neck as you do that. And we'll just take the 3 breaths to close the practice. Come back to your sense of intention. Inhale. See if you can feel that intention in different spaces in yourselves. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Gather in the goodness. Exhale, release. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining for this practice. It's always good to share it. And I hope you feel the benefits.